The Dallas Mavericks could be potentially eyeing a reunion with Dorian Finney-Smith. Although the Mavericks are 4-1 on the season without Luka Doncic, and the team has been playing very good basketball, they were on a 4-game losing streak earlier in the season, partly due to the fact that we didn't have PJ Washington, and our rebounding game wasn't up to par against the opposing teams, and we had to play Maxi Kleber heavy minutes. But the Brooklyn Nets have announced a new asking price for Dorian Finney-Smith, and the Mavericks could definitely benefit from that trade. So in this video, we're going to look over the information about Dorian Finney-Smith, what would it cost for the Mavericks to potentially get him, and what can Dorian Finney-Smith bring to this team. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And first off, I just want to say thank you so much for smashing that like button. We almost hit 400 likes at the time of this recording. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, if you want to be in the know on everything that's going on with your favorite team, like this video so more people can find it, so we can build the community even bigger than what it is. But like I said in the intro, the Dallas Mavericks could benefit from upgrading at the power forward position. We've got ball handlers, we got backups for Kyrie, backups for Luka, backups for Clay, backups for Daniel Gafford or Derrick Lively, depending who's starting. But the power forward position, where PJ Washington has been great for so far, has a pretty steep drop whenever he's off the floor, and then you got Maxi at the 4. Not saying Maxi is unplayable, but he's not the same Maxi that we've seen before. And one of the biggest issues with Maxi is his availability, in which is your best ability is when you're able to play when you're healthy. Last year, we went on a long stretch without Maxi. We started the season without Maxi. In the playoffs, we missed out Maxi in the middle of the season. I'm sorry, in the middle of the playoffs, really. It was right after the second game against the Clippers. But we have yet to really get a fully healthy Maxi in a long time. And although PJ Washington has been amazing for us, in those 4 games that we lost because we didn't have PJ's rebounding. And since he's been back, it's been amazing. Only lost 1 game, and that was overtime to the Heat. But every other game since he's been back, we are winning. We're out-rebounding the other team. We're getting second-chance points. We're scoring in the paint more. While Maxi, when he's on the floor, yes, his defense is there. He's had some of the highest plus-minuses in the most recent games. So there is a benefit from having Maxi. There is an impact that he has on the defensive end. But the offensive end is kind of where things fall apart, as he isn't really shooting the ball that well. He's only really attempting a few shots a night. He's not really attacking the paint. The defense is there, but the scoring, that's where the drop-off begins. When you have PJ Washington, his ability to get rebounds, his ability to attack the basket, and then you switch to Maxi, where yes, the defense is there, the scoring isn't. And that's where Dorian Finney-Smith could potentially fix that problem that the Dallas Mavericks are currently having. If we take a look right here, the Nets have lowered the asking price on Dorian Finney-Smith to 1 first-round pick in early exploratory trade talks. Finney-Smith is essentially on an expiring contract holding a $15.4 million player option for the 2025-2026 season. Expect significant interest from plenty of contenders, and the reason why the Mavericks could be a pretty good spot for Dorian Finney-Smith, why this trade works so perfectly, is obviously for what I said. What Dorian brings to this team is something that Maxi really isn't. It's the scoring, the rebounding, and I truly believe that Dorian Finney-Smith is still that same defender that we had just a few seasons ago, but also that expiring contract. In a few videos last week, when we went over Kyrie Irving and his contract extension, there has to be some money somewhere. And if we do get Dorian on expiring contract, that'll help us re-sign Kyrie, give him the money that he's looking for, and still be able to keep Dorian Finney-Smith, knowing that he wants to be in Dallas. He's played his best brand of basketball in Dallas, so why not just try to get him a more team-friendly contract so we can keep Dorian for the foreseeable future, as well as Kyrie Irving. And how good has Dorian Finney-Smith been playing? Well, he's actually been playing pretty good over there in Brooklyn as a starter. He's been putting up these numbers. As a starter in Brooklyn, he's putting up 10.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 0.5 blocks, 0.9 steals, 1.1 turnovers, and 3.1 fouls per game, while shooting 46% from the field and 42% from 3, and that's on almost 6 attempts a game. 42% on 6 attempts. I mean, we've got Klay Thompson, we've got Quentin Grimes, we've got Luke, we got Kyrie. We do have 3-point shooters. PJ Washington, whenever his 3-point shot wants to fall. But if we just add another 3-point scorer like Dorian Finney-Smith, who's shooting 42% on about 6 attempts a night, that's actually pretty good for us. And as a starter, putting up these numbers, imagine if he was coming off the bench for us, where he's attacking the other team's weaker unit, the second unit. He's going to get better looks playing alongside Luka, better looks playing alongside Kyrie, better looks playing alongside Spencer Dinwiddie, who's also been playing very well off the bench as of late. Dorian Finney-Smith could really fix that problem at that 4 spot for the Dallas Mavericks, where we're not worried about how many minutes that we have to give Dorian Finney-Smith. Whereas when it comes to Maxi, you're not really too sure how long you want to keep him out there. He's already fouled out of one game this season so far, racking up fouls more than he can get points. It just doesn't look like Maxi Kleber is the same player that we've had before, where, yes, when he's healthy, when everything's going great for Maxi, he's amazing for us. He's done a lot of good things for this organization. But going forward, we have a finals in mind. We need everybody playing at their absolute best. Obviously, you can't really help these injuries, but knowing Maxi's track history, the injuries do just seem to pile up. They come out at the most random times, typically at the times you don't want them. Either it's in preseason, before the season starts, or it's in the playoffs where you definitely need him. So trading for someone like Dorian Finney-Smith, who is playing a very good brand of basketball in Brooklyn, this is arguably one of his better shooting years, why not try to make that trade knowing that the asking price starts at a first-round pick? So what would that trade look like? You obviously would probably try to package Maxi, a first-round pick, and you'd most likely have to compete with other teams looking for Dorian Finney-Smith, so you may have to add on maybe a second-round pick or another young player. Not saying that we should trade Jaden Hardy. I think Jaden Hardy, who just signed an extension, still has some value to this team, but Omax as well as Maxi may need to be bundled together, as I do like Omax. I like his game. I think he could be a great backup to PJ, but he isn't at that level right now. Jason Kidd isn't really giving him a lot of minutes, so you may as well trade him away for someone that you know is going to get minutes on day one and can help this team out right away. But another thing that we should definitely take a look at right here is something that I put out. I've got eyes and ears in the organization. I've got people that tell me some important information from time to time, but I tweeted out that the Mavericks realized that Maxey has lost a step on defense and isn't shooting as much as they'd like him to on offense. They also noticed a huge hole in the team when PJ was out and Maxey was the backup. The power forward spot is a position they're looking to improve first. So is Dorian Finney-Smith coming to the Mavericks? I would like that. Out of all the power forwards available, I think the price that you have to pay for Dorian would definitely be worth it in the long run. However, we could go in a completely different direction. Just know the team understands that Maxey isn't the same Maxey and that Maxey might be the first one to go come February. But there was also an article that came out saying rumors, Lakers eyeing bold move to spoil Mavericks' dream trade scenario. The article continues by saying Lakers are eyeing trade for Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith has been a rumored trade target for Dallas in the past following their decision to trade him to the Brooklyn Nets to acquire Kyrie Irving, and he is someone who the Mavs could look to pursue once again this season. It's clear that Finney-Smith would want to return to Dallas eventually due to his love for the city and organization. But the Los Angeles Lakers could end up spoiling Mavs fans' dream trade targets reunion in Dallas. Like I said, Dorian enjoys playing in Dallas. I flashed this earlier, but Luka Doncic on Dorian Finney-Smith last season, he said, that's my guy. I miss him so much, and I know we're going to play together again someday. The brotherhood that Dorian Finney-Smith had with this organization, with this whole city, is amazing. I mean, my first Mavericks jersey that I bought for myself was a Dorian Finney-Smith jersey. I was and still am a big fan of that player, what he brings and what he means to the organization. And I know we're probably tired of the Mavericks in their reunions with all their ex-players, but it seems to have worked out for us in the past. It seems like that's what's worked before. We trade away a player and then we bring them back, sometimes to trade again, like Seth Curry, or we bring you back like Spencer Dinwiddie and we make things right as we are now in a much better window to win a championship. But like I said, I mean, the article goes over how the Lakers are also looking at Dorian Finney-Smith, and that's why you may need to add a player like Omax alongside that first-round pick, alongside Maxi Kleber, and maybe even a second-round pick. We will have to be very competitive if we're looking at any available players in this trade market. But for Dorian Finney-Smith, if the entry fee to even talk is a first-round pick, you know a lot of other teams can do that, so you got to be more competitive. You have to spice it up and give them a reason why your trade package is better than the Lakers. I mean, I know a million reasons why I'd rather have Dorian Finney-Smith on our team over the Lakers. Just look at Spencer Dinwiddie. He did not play that well in LA, but he's playing a lot better here in Dallas, and I'm sure the same can be said for Dorian Finney-Smith. But the article continues by saying Lakers insider Anthony F. Irwin was on the lounge with NBA insider Jake Fisher earlier this week. And Irwin reported that Los Angeles Lakers was interested in Finney-Smith last season, and their interest in the 6'7" wing was persisted into this season, saying they've been in constant contact with Brooklyn about him, Irwin said about the Lakers' interest in Finney-Smith. While the last reported interest from the Mavs in a trade for Finney-Smith was last season, that doesn't change the fact that he would be an excellent fit in Dallas. They need more depth at the power forward position, and adding a versatile wing who can defend and knock down open threes will be an outstanding move to gear up for the postseason push. My thoughts exactly. So knowing that the Mavericks were interested in Dorian Finney-Smith last season, I mean, we're probably still interested in Dorian Finney-Smith this season. Knowing that the Lakers are also interested, yes, we would probably, it may look like an overpay if we made a push for Dorian Finney-Smith, but he could do wonders for this team. He's shooting 43% from three on 6 attempts a night. He's shooting very well this season as a starter in Brooklyn. So coming off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks, you should be playing even better, especially alongside Luka, especially alongside Kyrie, or even Spencer Dinwiddie. Being a backup for PJ is huge for us. We know what happens when we can't out-rebound teams. We are not getting second chance points. We're allowing the other team to get second chance points, and that's why we lost those games by just a few points. If we have better rebounding, they don't get second chance points, and we win those 4 games. Dorian Finney-Smith may not be the best option in the trade market, but at least in early trade talks, Dorian Finney-Smith is a player that you definitely want to take a look at. The article does continue, saying this season for the Nets, Finney-Smith is averaging 10.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and 0.9 steals per game, while shooting 46.6% from the field and 41% from downtown. This has quietly been one of the best seasons in Finney-Smith's career, and his 41% from downtown is a career best while shooting a career high 5.6 attempts per game. So yes, he's shooting 41% on 5.5 attempts a game. Let's just round up to 6. He's shooting a lot better. We could definitely use more shooting. I think he's a good fit. He already knows how to play within Dallas' system and thrives next to Luka Doncic, and adding him to this Mavericks bench would give them some much-needed size, strength, and shooting. Doncic has made it clear that he'd love to team up with Finney-Smith again one day, and trading for him would bolster Dallas' front court depth. While Maxi Kleber is coming off his best game of the season against the Hawks, in which he scored 7 points and pulled 7 rebounds, some fans think it's time for Dallas to upgrade at his spot. And I agree. I think we do need to upgrade from Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, the team understands that we need to upgrade from Maxi to Dorian Finney-Smith. The team understands that Maxi isn't the same Maxi that we once had, and even though he's been dealing with injuries left and right, it doesn't really look like he's coming back to that form that we're used to. So why not make a trade for someone like Dorian Finney-Smith? There's going to be a lot of players available on the trade market between now and February. There's going to be other players that may be more available for us that may be even a better fit than Dorian Finney-Smith. But if right now my only option is Dorian Finney-Smith or keep the team, I would definitely entertain some kind of trade to get him that wouldn't hurt the team more than it would help. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think Dorian Finney-Smith would be a good fit? Or do you hang tight with what we got? Or you go after someone else? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. The only way to enter our giveaways is to become a channel member of any tier. But until next time, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.